Respectfully, Your Excellency. What can I do for you?
Governor Burren asked me to investigate the abductions the rebels told us about. If we could find the origin and free their comrades, I'm sure they would stop their attack. I need to locate and speak with the other rebels. Do you know where they could be?
No, they don't attack often. I fear they're gathering their forces.
Captain, the patrol we sent to the west has not returned yet.
I may have spoken too quickly, Your Excellency. Although it might still be possible that our men are just delayed.
Perhaps you would allow me to search for them. Maybe they crossed paths with the rebels.
Corporal, do you know which way the patrol went?
Of course, Captain.
You will lead, His Excellency, in hope that our men are still alive.
At your command, Captain. Your Excellency. Find me at the entrance of the camp when you're ready to start. Are you ready to go, Your Excellency?
Yes, let's go.
Let's not waste any time. Let's not waste any time. Let's not waste... Let's not waste any time.
Is that the patrol we're looking for?
Yes. That's them. More victims of these savages. But two of the soldiers are missing. Maybe they managed to escape. They'll surely need help. We should look for them.
You! Help me! I'm in trouble! Please help me!
This man needs to be cared for. But in his condition, we can't take him back to the outpost.
Allow me. There. That should be better.
Thank you, sir. Without your help, I would probably have died here.
Tell us what happened.
We came across a group of rebel savages. It was a massacre. A few seconds later, only Franz and I were left. We fled. I managed to drag myself here, but he was not so lucky. The savages caught up with him.
Was he captured? Did you see where they took him?
They headed north to Frazonegan, but in the state I was in, I didn't see much else.
Your Excellency, please. We should get him out of there. They're bound to torture and kill him.
We'll take care of it, Corporal. The rebels must have left traces when dragging the prisoner, but not you. You must help your wounded man to reach the outpost. Come on. There's our group of rebels. The soldier they captured looks dead.
Let's go, Tagnik'Zur. Stand up. Esse maru. Radida beuda. It's velde tegedach. Komaros de malni. Let's go, Tagnik'Zur. Quayas.
My name is Desade. I'm the legate of the congregation. I'm here because I want to talk to your chief.
I know who you are. The Tagnik'Zur on All Manawi. What do you want to say to our Mal?
I want to talk to him about the abductions and to understand what's going on.
You would be the first Renaigze to care. How do we know you're not just saying that to find out where our camp is?
Siora.
You know who I am, Sengots.
Yes. You are the Donegat of Gais Rad, the daughter of Bladnid.
So you know that my mother fought lions to free our people, and she lost. If anyone can prevent you from meeting the same fate, it's my friend. You should really lead us to your chief.
I believe you, Donegat. Very well. Tell me when you are ready to follow me to our camp. Are you ready to follow me, Renaigze?
Let's go.
It's this way.
Let's stay on guard.
What are you afraid of? That the Tagnik'Zur have set a trap for us.
It's this way. I'm letting my comrades know we're here, so that they let us pass. Follow me. We are almost there. It's this way. Come on. This way. This is our main camp. This is where you will find our Mal. I hope I am not wrong to lead you here, and that you are not a traitor.
So, here's the famous rebel camp. I hope their leader can tell us more about these abductions.
Who are you and what are you doing here, Tagnik'Zur?
My name is Desardet. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation. I came to talk to you about the abductions and your forthcoming attack.
And how did you find our camp?
I convinced one of your men to bring me.
Please, Mal. Explain to him what you know. He can help us free our brothers.
Well, I'll tell you what we know, then you'll understand why we have to fight lions. Many seasons ago, Sinolmanawi started to disappear. Lions attacked the villages and took them with them. We never saw them again. They were either crazy or so injured that even our best Donegad couldn't do anything. So we counterattacked and captured some of their soldiers. And we learned that they were taking our people to a place they call a laboratory. It is there that they torture and kill them. They talked about experiments.
Experiments? So that was the reason for all these abductions. But what do they hope to discover?
They hope to find a cure for the Malachor. And I'm afraid they're willing to carry out any atrocity to find one.
We found the laboratory, but it is heavily guarded. So we are preparing for war. Do you understand now?
Yes. And if what you tell me is true, we must put an end to it.
Alert! The lions are attacking!
Traitor! It was you who led them to us!
No, I swear. They asked me to investigate. It was never a question of attacking you.
Then prove it! Fight with us!
The Alliance betrayed me as much as you. I owe them nothing.
You have fought bravely. And your word is true, Onormanawi.
The Alliance is the ally of the congregation. Taking your side was not a decision I made lightly. But Governor Burren used and betrayed us. And he will answer for it. Please, wait before you attack. I will do everything to dismantle this laboratory and release your people.
I trust you. So we will wait. But don't take too long. Qua awalem seg, Onormanawi.
Goodbye.
Lord de Sade, what...
Enough with the formalities, Excellency. You owe me an explanation. Did you order your troops to attack while I was negotiating under a white flag?
I assure you that I have no idea what you are talking about. I would never have placed your life in harm's way. The alliance with the congregation is crucial, and you know it. Your suspicions are unfounded. I'm sorry. It is now clear that decisions are being made without my consent. I'm going.
You mock me, Excellency. I can't believe this matter slipped your vigilance. Everything the Danea Exregao have told me has proven true. Your men attacked and carried off natives. I witnessed it. According to what I've been told, they are taken to a place where experiments are carried out, where they are tortured.
It is true that I knew of the existence of this laboratory. The place is dedicated to research on the Malachor. If a remedy is ever to be discovered, it will happen there. But I assure you that I was not aware that natives were being taken there.
Allow me to doubt your sincerity, Excellency. I intend to pay the place a visit and see for myself what happens there. Who directs the research?
Our most brilliant savant, the Dr. Asili. Certainly his legend precedes him. He is the master of your friend, the Professor Afra.
Dr. Asili is no longer my master, and I regret that he ever was. We should be off to Sade. If this laboratory were what I think it is, the best course of action would be to burn it to the ground.
Would you like to speak with me about any other subjects?
I have to go. Look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell, my lord.
Halt! No one enters!
You speak to the legate of the merchant congregation, soldier. I have been sent by Governor Buren. I have to talk to Dr. Asili.
I don't take orders from the governor, nor the congregation. Be on your way.
You know I'm not afraid to fight, but I worry about the prisoners. Perhaps there's another way in.
Very well. We're leaving.
Horrible place. A prison hidden from the sun to better torture my people.
There must be other guards. Be careful. How awful. They've been reduced to burning the bodies.
And devastated. So many of us must have died here.
You're not one of those nasty birds, are you?
No. I've come to put an end to all these horrors. To save you. But I thought they only captured the Onol Manawi.
I don't know why they brought us here. But they hurt us. I saw them cut a friend of mine into pieces. Get us out of here. Trokaret!
I'll find a way.
I want the one who did this to know fear and suffering.
Let's hold this good doctor to account.
You're already dead.
Who are you? You have no right to be here.
I have come to free your prisoners, and put an end to all the horrors that take place here.
I knew this would happen eventually. This all went too far. Dr. Asili, he lost his mind a long time ago. But what are you going to do with us?
Arrest you. Then I expect you will be sentenced.
No, please! We only followed the doctor's orders. We tried to stop him, but he is the director of the lab.
You could have reported it to the governor or left this place.
He threatened to destroy our lives. We could not... Please, don't look us up.
What will you do once you're free?
We will try to redeem ourselves and resume our work at the governor's laboratory. That's where we worked before joining Dr. Asili's team.
If your conscience allows you to resume your activities as if nothing has happened, you may go.
I'm eternally grateful, Your Excellency.
These poor people lost their lives only a few hours ago. They could not survive this mutilation.
And die var styrend. They were cut up like pieces of meat. May the volcano engulf those who did this.
This note carefully describes the sequence of the experiments. There are even sketches. It's hard not to feel sick. This is proof of all the horrors committed here. Vasily has locked himself in his office.
Afra? What a surprise to see you here. You finally came to your senses.
Master, it's not...
Who is this person?
I'm the legate of the merchant congregation, and I'm here to put an end to your crimes.
My crimes? What are you talking about? My work was for the good of humanity. Don't tell me you're crying over some savages. The survival of our species requires sacrifice.
What did you hope to find from all these experiments?
Since the Malachor never reached this island, I wanted to check if these savages were sensitive to it. And I discovered that they were naturally resistant. Do you realize the implications of this discovery? So I tried to isolate this resistance to develop a cure in order to send it to the people on the continent. But I doubt that you will be able to understand the subtlety of such an approach.
This man is a cold-blooded reptile. My brothers and sisters were no more than ants to him.
You are a very beautiful specimen. When I think of the power flowing through your veins. Come on, Afra, my dear student. Will you let these narrow-minded inquisitors decide my fate? Are you not also devoted to science and truth?
Science and truth do not excuse your lack of humanity. I'm ashamed of having been taught by you, and that I didn't warn Burin that you'd gone mad. If I had, we could have prevented all of this.
You disappoint me so much, Afra. A second time. When I think what I wasted trying to teach you science.
We learned everything we wanted to know. This lab will close and you will answer for everything you have done.
You think so? Guards, capture these people!
Watch out! Grenade! Ready to use fire!
Stop! Think of my knowledge. All that I have accomplished. That can never disappear.
You will answer for your crimes in court.
But I'll be out soon. My colleagues will understand the importance of my work.
We shall see about that. I can't believe it. Constantine's Malachor was caused by a silly. The potion we were made to drink when we landed on the island was contaminated. How dare he do such a thing? And why?
May the grass be forever soft under your feet. I thought I was losing my mind in this cage.
I must release the other prisoners. You will be out soon.
You are on Olmenawi. Are you going to free us?
Yes, that's why I'm here. And to find out what's going on.
What's going on? We are locked up. They make us drink horrible things. We're starving. They hit us. They take our blood. They cut us up. They tell us we will die to save the Tagnik'Zur from a horrible disease. But I pray that the wicked birds catch it and die. Please get us out of here.
I will do my best. Don't worry.
Let's go now. I want to see my people again.
Just one moment. I haven't freed all the prisoners yet. It's blocked.
Watch out! Grenade!
You're not one of them. Please, get us out of here.
Nords? What are you doing locked up here?
These scientists captured and abused us. They performed experiments, made us drink potions, took our blood. I heard them say that they wanted to find out how we are immune to the Malachor. None of it makes any sense. Please, get us out of here.
I'll find a way to open this cage. Why attack the Nords? How could the Alliance do such a stupid thing? The Admiral will be furious. Now that they are free, we must help the prisoners escape this place.
If they leave through the city, Hikmet guards will arrest them.
So we have to find another way to get them out. It's perfect. We just have to clear the way. The mechanism doesn't work. I need to take a closer look. Let's go. I found a way out of the city. But be careful. You are weakened, and creatures roam these tunnels. I will lead the way. There you are. You're free.
You have saved our lives. How can we thank you? We will never forget what you have done for us on Almenawi.
Yes, we will always be grateful.
We're not very far from the Hikmet outpost. You'll have to be careful.
I know how to reach the port without being seen.
Perfect. As for you, you should take refuge in Vikshadir. You will be safe there, but you should avoid the Alliance patrols.
We'll get there. Qua awaleng segven.
Your Excellency.
Lord de Sade, and to what do I owe this honor?
I've been to Asili's laboratory and what I discovered was abominable. Hundreds of poor souls tortured, victims of horrifying experiments. There were so many dead that a pit had been dug to burn the bodies.
How horrifying. I cannot believe it.
The natives were not the only victims of these crimes. There are also a number of Nauts.
Nauts?
Pardon me for doubting you, but do you have proof of what you say? And have you brought Dr. Asili to me so he may answer these accusations?
Yes, we captured him.
Really? Very well. I will ensure that he is judged as quickly as possible. What was done with the prisoners that were being held in the laboratory?
They were freed. The Danae Exregau are satisfied and should call off their attack.
What a relief. Finally, some good news. How can I repay you?
By allowing me to take part in the trial proceedings. What I saw merits justice, and I fear that the accused will find a great many defenders amongst his fellow savants.
It is a rather novel request, but granted. I shall inform the prosecutor. Let us remember that the madness of a man should not cast a shadow upon the greater sum of his work. His research is perhaps our only chance of discovering a remedy. Would you like to speak with me about any other subjects?
Can you tell me anything about Dr. Asili?
Asili is a man of remarkable knowledge. One of our most brilliant sages.
You already told me that, Your Excellency.
He is one of those rare men who master alchemy, mathematics, and naturalism with equal assiduity. Anatomy has no secrets for him, and medicine is his passion. Do you realize that it was he who perfected the inoculation technique?
Inoculation? What is that?
A novel treatment that allows us to fabricate immunity to sickness, such as the pox. If any man can find a remedy for the Malachor, it would be him.
I have to go. Look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell, my lord.
Hello. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
De Sardet. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation. Governor Buran told me to pay you a visit.
Oh. It is you who arrested Dr. Asili and must help me prepare the trial.
Exactly.
Excellent. We will have lots to do if we want the doctor to pay for his crimes. The accused has a lot of support. Any evidence and testimonies you can gather will be useful.
We'll have no problem gathering witnesses. His laboratory cells were full of them.
We will call them to the witness box, of course. But be aware that if the victims are natives, their words will unfortunately not carry much weight here.
There were also some Nauts. Perhaps I could convince some of the doctor's colleagues to talk.
Their testimony will be crucial. The word of other scholars is likely to be the only thing that condemns him. That plus any material evidence you can gather.
I picked up a strange powder in the laboratory. A substance that I've not been able to identify.
You should show it to an alchemist. We need to know what it is to be able to use it.
These documents describe Dr. Asili's work. as well as the horrible experiments he was performing.
Perfect. I will read them in detail. We will no doubt find something to support my prosecution.
I have found a letter proving that Dr. Asili voluntarily transmitted the Malachor to my cousin, Constantin d'Orsay. I would like to add that I too was a victim of this poisoning.
Did the accused try to take the life of the governor of New Serene? This is an extremely serious crime.
Indeed. He saw my cousin and me as the ideal control group to prove his theories, and no humanitarian or diplomatic consideration could put a stop to his ambition.
This letter alone is crucial proof. I will put it on our file.
Do we have any chance of winning?
Yes, I am rather confident. You have provided overwhelming evidence. But if we had witnesses, we would have an even bigger chance of winning.
I will return to you soon. The Nauts should be at the port, and the islanders had to take refuge in Vikshadir. As for the scientists, they said they would go back to the governor's laboratory. I should give this powder to someone who can tell me what it is. Hello. I see that you're back to work.
Indeed. We were not bothered thanks to you. And here I can make myself useful. But I don't think you're here to ask about me. What can I do for you?
What is your purpose here?
I help Dr. Unur to understand the research of my former master. He's the one who became his successor.
I do hope that he doesn't use the same methods.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues? What's become of them?
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments and returned to Al-Sad.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He was the greatest amongst us, you know? They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest in the natives. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war against the rebels cost us dearly. Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they will not have any moral issues.
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I don't know what it is. But I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do so here.
So, what is it?
It is a quintessence of black blood. Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the Malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to be afflicted by the disease. With the quantities that you brought me, hundreds of people could be contaminated. It's terrifying. I cannot believe Asili would do such a thing. Here, these are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments, as well as my conclusions.
Thank you. I will relay them to the prosecutor. Are you prepared to testify against Dr. Asili?
Yes. I kept silent for far too long about what was going on in that lab. I know what we did was wrong, and I do not want it to happen again.
Thank you. Your story could change the outcome of this trial. I must leave you. What she saw working alongside Asili obviously upset her. She will make an excellent witness.
Dr. Honor, what do you want?
What is your role and what is your research topic?
I'm in charge of the governor's laboratories. My main research concerns the Malachor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
Searched?
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope of finding a cure.
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work do not concern you?
He will be judged for that. But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for nothing.
What do you think of Dr. Asili now that you've learned how he conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are unfortunate, but he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And he was probably acting on behalf of our helplessness to combat the Malachor.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So are you ready to defend a man who used to torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed, because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying the only problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city, but let's not fool ourselves. No tears will be shed over the fate of a few of those bloodthirsty savages.
Afra, did you have something to say to Dr. Honor?
Thank you, de Sardet. I feel it is my duty to warn him. You probably know that I was one of Dr. Isili's students.
Naturally. It is undoubtedly under his influence that you have developed this remarkable analytical spirit.
Perhaps. But my analytical mind also pushed me to refuse to continue working with him. I saw his madness and cruelty grow deeper, and what we discovered in this laboratory was abominable. We must condemn him, not only so he can pay for this crime, but to free science from these kinds of abject methods.
Very well. You've convinced me. I will now testify for the prosecution. It is true that it's time to turn the page and leave his cruel methods behind.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Anur is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Is everything all right?
Once again, thanks to you. These people wanted to kill me.
They certainly wanted to prevent you from testifying at the doctor's trial.
The doctor will be judged. I suppose you'd like me to testify about how we suffered.
Indeed. If you do not fear another attempt on your life by these men.
Don't worry. I won't put up with intimidation. From now on, my people will watch over me until I can testify. And I intend to witness the execution of our torturer. You can count on me.
Thank you. Your word will be crucial during the trial.
I'm glad you came to see me. I wanted to talk to you.
I'm listening.
I'm still a bit inexperienced when it comes to these emotional things. My feelings and my desires. But I believe that we share something unique. That a bond has been created between us. And if you were so inclined, I'd love to spend some time alone with you.
It would be my pleasure. Meet me outside my room the next time we return to my house.
I'll be there. Anything else?
I would like you to tell me about Asili.
I was expecting you to come and see me about this. What would you like to know?
Were you aware of Dr. Asili's experiments?
In part, yes. That's why I chose not to be his student any longer.
Why not say anything?
Because I never thought he would go so far. Over time, he became more and more cruel. I found his approach brutal. As if by meeting the natives it deprived him of all humanity. He spoke of them as test subjects, never as people. But there was a time when he was the greatest doctor and scientist in the Alliance. And I clung on to that memory.
You do know that you were captured thanks to him?
Yes, but I thought the natives wanted to trade us merely as prisoners of war. I was blind. And stupid. I regret it terribly.
Do you think, as your master does, that science justifies all sacrifices?
No. I may have believed that at one time, without of course ever imagining that we'd resort to such cruel treatment. But Dunkus, you and Siora have opened my eyes to the limits of science. To worship it as we do in the Alliance does not make us better than Thélème.
In your opinion, were the horrors practiced in this laboratory necessary for his research?
No, even if he was convinced of it. General interest outweighs the suffering of a few individuals. He wanted results quickly, to the point of neglecting slower, more humane methods. I hope we'll succeed in ensuring these experiments never happen again.
Would you be willing to testify against Dr. Asili during his trial?
Of course. I was going to talk to you about that. I want to convince my colleagues that we must give up these kind of methods. And even if it costs me dearly, I want my master to pay for what he did. Anything else?
Tell me about your studies with Dr. Asili.
He was not always mad, you know. He was a renowned doctor back in Al-Sad. His unusual methods saved many lives, and I was very proud to be amongst his students. He taught me a lot. He was a great teacher. He was strict and severe, but he always pushed us to do our best. It's only when I joined him on the island that I understood that there was something wrong. He seemed changed and completely obsessed with the Malachor. You know it killed his wife and 2 children. He was so shaken by that, he no longer showed any restraint in his research. Such a waste. For the natives he massacred as well as for science.
I must leave you.
Hey! You are the Onol Minawi who freed us. We managed to reach Vikshadir.
They told me what you did for them, Renaikse. Well done. I was able to give them the care they needed. Some wounds will take time to heal, but they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No. I came to ask for your help. The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He's a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And the Mad Lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
May the earth engulf him. You can return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Tiernahar. And thank you all. I blame myself for forcing these poor people back to the city where they have suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
A Nort victim of Dr. Asili agreed to testify at the trial.
Excellent. This kind of testimony will certainly rattle his defense.
I managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent. These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they are in Hikmet.
The islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed. But do bear in mind that the islanders are not highly regarded in Hikmet.
Afra, one of Dr. Asili's former students, has agreed to testify.
Excellent. This woman is very respected by the governor. Her statement will carry a lot of weight.
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor. It seems that less than a pinch of this powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it. There's enough here to make a small town sick.
A terrifying thought. I will add the analysis and this powder to the evidence on record. You have gathered overwhelming evidence. The defense will have a hard time saving the accused. I think we can go to trial with confidence now.
Will the trial begin soon?
It seems to be the right time. Excellent investigation work. I think we have every chance of winning.
Where will the trial be held?
At the palace. I regret to inform you that you will not be able to attend. However, I'm sure the governor will keep you informed of the outcome of the proceedings.
Madame, congratulations. The trial was exemplary. Asili's madness was exposed to the entire world, and you have demonstrated the horror of his methods.
Thank you, Excellency. But all praise should be showered upon Sir Desade. The evidence he supplied was irrefutable.
It was necessary that you hear the victims, in order to understand the extremities to which your science has taken you.
Come now, one cannot conclude that science was guilty here.
Not science, but the savants were. It is never right to set aside humanity in the name of the common good. No knowledge justifies killing or torture.
Your words are wise, and I promise to remember them.
You have not always shown yourself a man of impeccable judgment, Excellency.
We are all, from time to time, victim of our own blind enthusiasm, that is true. But this trial has shaken my usual resolve. It may very well change the course of history.
Afra, are you certain that you want to attend this?
I do not want to attend. I must.
Dr. Asili, you have been found guilty of all accusations brought against you. In consequence, the Bridge Alliance Tribunal condemns you to death. Do you have any final words?
You treat me like a monster. But how many times have you stayed your own hands? So close to the goal to finally find a remedy, you would have done as I. What do a few lives mean when the future of all humanity hangs in the balance? You are nothing more than idiots, incompetents, and you, Baron, are the greatest hypocrite of all. You know that I am right.
Executioner, earn your pay.
You know that I am right.
Desade, I'm happy to see you. Can I do anything for you?
I must leave you.
Karantz, could you help me once more?
What is it?
I must prepare the ritual for our mother's funeral, and I think that I will need your help.
But your sister will be there. Surely you'd rather be together.
For the ritual, yes, it will only be the two of us. But before that, your support would be a great help. Will you come with me?
Of course. I'd be happy to be by your side. Let's go.
Siora, Asir, always with your new friends. Bertir to Madiseld, I'm happy to see you. What do you want?
I'm only here to accompany Siora.
I came to give our mother back to the earth, Iseld. It is high time we did. I know. Performing the ritual might help me feel less empty. Iseld, I miss her too. Did you go to Vasrigan? No. Preparing the place is the role of the Donegada. I was afraid I would not do things properly. are approaching Vazrigan. This is where I will perform the ritual. This burial mound has been the final resting place of our queens for generations. It must be prepared before we can start the ritual. Something's wrong. Normally, you would hear the birds singing in this place.
What do you mean?
And yet everything seems normal to me.
There. Tamelands. This is not their natural habitat at all. We cannot leave them here, so close to the burial mound. Area. You never see any around here. They must have nested in the shadow of the burial mound.
In that case, we have no choice but to destroy their nests. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming back.
You are right. We cannot let these carnivores roam so close to my mother's remains. will no longer trouble the peace of our queen. All we have to do now is to take care of the ceremony.
Is there anything else to prepare?
Of course. We will need some sensors crafted especially for the ritual.
Where can we find them?
It would be ideal if we could craft them ourselves, but otherwise the village artisan probably sells them. And I will also need some mortuary lotion. I will have to coat my mother's body with it before giving her back to the earth. I will give you a list of all the ingredients because we will have to prepare it ourselves. The merchants won't sell it. Once we have gathered these last items, then Isolde and I will be able to perform the ritual. I thank you for being by my side and helping me the way you are. It means a lot to me.
Don't mention it, Siora.
Get rid of these money bags.
May the shadow engulf our enemies.
We have all that we need. Let's go back to the burial mound to put everything in place. Here we are. It is on this stone altar that we will place the body of my mother. We must place a censer where her head will be, and another near her feet. And then you will have done everything you could to help me. And I am infinitely grateful for it. Your presence by my side means a lot to me. But only my sister and I can participate in the ceremony. This is how our ritual of the dead is performed. Do you understand? There. Everything is in place. Thanks again, Onal Manawi. My sister should be joining me soon. You should wait outside. Oh, these rituals are demanding. But they help us to say goodbye to those we love. You have been a true friend. A Karans, accepting to help me the way you did. Thank you. I will never forget the kindness you displayed. Conforming to our customs and staying by my side.
It's only natural, Siora. I know what it feels like to lose someone who is dear to you.
We should go now. It is time to return to the living.
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Karantz, do you need something?
What do you intend to do now? Will you become the Dunegad of your clan again?
I will most likely do it, but not now. I still have a lot to discover by your side.
I hope that you do not feel constrained to do so. I would completely understand if you had to go back to your people.
You are a noble-hearted man, and a true Onol-Manawi. Do not worry. I'm not staying because I feel constrained to do so, but because I like being with you all. And especially with you. Anything else?
I must leave you. See you later.
Oh, there you are, Your Excellency. The Enlightened has heard my prayers.
What's going on? Where are the others?
After deciphering the content of the tablets, they went north to continue their research in some swamps. But they must have encountered problems. Brother Fidelis came back here, and he was in a dreadful state. He most likely came to seek help, but he fainted. It's impossible for us to know what happened to them.
I'm not a doctor, but I may be able to examine him.
Oh, please do. Any help would be appreciated. We've done our best, but our magic has proved inefficient. And the healer we sent for will certainly arrive too late from San Mateus.
This man is burning up with fever, and he bears several bite marks and traces of blows.
The flesh is black and blue around the bites. He was bitten by a venomous creature. What he needs is an antidote.
Have you tried giving him any anti-poison?
Of course, but to no avail. And what if it were a hex cast by the heretics?
No matter what happens, you always suspect them.
More of these idiotic superstitions. If the anti-poisons aren't working, it's because they're not suitable for this venom. Fidelis was in the swamp. Local healers will surely know how to make the right antidote.
We could ask Lair. He will direct us to someone who understands remedies.
Here you are again. What do you want?
I must leave you.
On Olmanawi, you've come back to see old Lair. I heard that you managed to retrieve the tablets.
Did Vindwal tell you?
Yes, and I feel more at peace, knowing that our brothers are alive, and that they will be able to join another clan. And you proved me right. Peace with the Tagnik'Zur is possible.
I need your advice. You may already know that one of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition.
I heard about it.
He has all the symptoms of a poisoning, but the anti-poisons we gave him had no effect. He must have been bitten by a creature of the swamp, and we're looking for a healer who would know of a suitable antidote.
So, you came to see me. Interesting. Our neighbors did not think for one moment that we could be helpful. Alas, our Donegad is one of the exiles. But Vindwal knows plants well. She will know.
Thank you. I will go see her. I hope she agrees to help us. I have to go.
Like so many others.
Here you are again. What do you want?
I have come to ask for your help. Lair told me you know about remedies.
I do know a few of them. I have learned about plants. I used to want to become a Donegad.
One of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition. Apparently he was bitten by a creature of the swamp.
And now he has the Llewellyn fever. We have a good knowledge about this affliction. He will die if he does not receive proper treatment.
Do you know which antidote should be given to him?
Yes. These priests are idiots. They could have asked for our help, but they treat us like children. You are different. And you have allowed my son to join a new clan. So, I will give you the potion to cure the priest. Wait a moment. Make him drink this remedy and he'll get better.
Thank you, Vindwal.
May the trees always bear fruit for you on Olmanawi. Ad Loreda for not injuring my son.
Don't mention it.
Where am I?
You are in Eden. You're safe.
Was I unconscious for a long time? The other members of the expedition, they are in danger. The swamp is so hostile. We weren't prepared for it. Some of our people have disappeared.
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. The swamp is full of them. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him. As for those who are at the camp, you must go help them.
Show me the location of your colleagues on the map. I will join them.
There. Please, hurry.
Thank you. You should rest now.
Your Excellency, it's always a pleasure. As you can see, I have recovered well, thanks to you. I must get back to work. May the Enlightened protect you.
Thank you for curing Brother Fidelis, Your Excellency. May the Enlightened bless you.
You should rather thank Vindwal. She's the one who supplied the antidote.
I will pray for her.
I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
Was bring you to the place suggested by the tablets. I had no way of knowing.
Really? But I did warn you. You just wanted to have it your way. Someone so foolish and thoughtless should not be supervising an expedition.
How dare you!
It looks like we're right on time. If we do not intervene, they are sure to... Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrived right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
He must be dead, like our other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he is being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
Your Excellency, I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders, something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing, and I'm not even talking about the ones who fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous does not help.
And no one has searched for those who were missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information, but you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you can make a decision.
Brother Virgil.
What do you want?
Can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. I am certain that the natives must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. It was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here. We have been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well? I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And, in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have to try finding your colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I can only commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
If that were the case, there would be other marks of impact on his body. No. He was struck with an object to the back of the head. Given the shape of the wound, it was inflicted with a metal mace.
This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace. And it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved, most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death. This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals.
Indeed, he was devoured, but he was already dead. There is a mark here, on the bones, that could only have resulted from the strike of a cutting weapon.
Alas, anyone could have stabbed this priest. Both natives and priests carry knives.
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he had died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it's impossible to know who was wielding it.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Watch out!
These fang marks are impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Lowolan.
Hold on. Do you see these iridescent marks on his skin? They look like the marks that the priest's spells leave on their victims. I've seen them many times before.
But what was he doing alone so far from camp? It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
All these disguised deaths, these abject crimes. The natives can be violent, but they are not deceitful. I'm afraid that Brother Virgil may have found a way to take control of the expedition. He should be judged for it.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation. Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency! Weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her recklessness are to blame for this.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages! Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Oh, Virgil, would you please stop taking us for fools? The natives had no hand in this.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that my cause is righteous. The Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I wanted to scare her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upset in Thélème. But he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her colleagues are on edge. We wouldn't want them to start killing each other.
Sorry, Brother Virgil, but I cannot accept. You will take your belongings and leave this place. The research will continue and their discoveries will be studied by wiser people than you. The decision to reveal them or not will be theirs.
I see. My colleagues and I will go back to Eden. I hope that you don't regret your decision.
Alas, I have found the dead bodies of your colleagues.
How horrible! But how? Oh, perhaps I should have listened to Brother Virgil.
I doubt it. Brother Virgil is responsible for these deaths. He was hoping to blame the natives for them and discredit you.
What? But why would he? He will have to answer for his crimes.
As I do not have the authority to arrest him, I sent him back to Eden. If you want him to face judgment, you will have to report what happened to the Mother Cardinal.
You are right. As soon as we get back to civilization, I will make sure that she hears about it. Once more, your help has been a blessing. Take this. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research.
Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even if Virgil is no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation site where he wrote this. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
We should rummage through this area. If someone lived here, it must have been in a drier place. Poison on my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies. May the shadow engulf our enemies. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
May the shadow engulf our enemies. May the shadow engulf our enemies. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world.
Some people have lived, but we will have to look further if we want to find traces of the saint. Bit of poison on my blade. And let's go!
magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias. Praying to Enon Mil Frictimen. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors. There are some native symbols here, and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men duis dat, Enon Mil Frictimen. This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him. Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. Looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago, and it undeniably comes from the continent.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias is often depicted or described as using a similar chaplet. Oh, I feel so lucky to be here, in this cavern where our founder lived. I don't know if you realize the importance of what we've just discovered. Saint Matthias, the founder of Ptolemy, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation, our cult, and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Ptolemy.
I know how difficult keeping some secrets can be, and this one is huge. It could lead to peace with the natives, as much as it could lead to a civil war.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder? New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
There were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Matthias.
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On the other, he prayed to a god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look, there are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
This chaplet? I cannot believe it. It is so... Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Virgil? How did you know?
I'm afraid that Your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Matthias. They will not dare to attack you there. Even if these men were the last forces that the Inquisition could send us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
Fortunately, we have some leverage over this, dear Cornelia. And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content. And I will meet you at the palace in San Matthias to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful.
Karantz, do you need something?
I must leave you. See you later.
Ah, Your Excellency. We were eagerly awaiting your arrival. Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. We must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed been a falsification?
The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There is no islander village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any. The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a Nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time. We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Matthias without a doubt. He is depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war, and who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
It seems that you only see the negative aspects of this discovery, but the reality is very different. By integrating some of the natives' beliefs into your dogma, you could build an alliance with them. Something no other nation has managed to achieve before.
What good is such a reproach if our nation has fallen into chaos?
I would also like to inform you that a member of the Ordo Luminus was part of the expedition. He tried several times to sabotage it, even killing many of his colleagues for it, and finally attacked us as we were preparing to join San Mateus.
You'd have thought that the remaining members of the Order would go to such extremes. But I fear these attacks are just a reflection of what will happen if your discoveries are made public.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Mateus shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political, yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
If my people knew that the great sage they had long respected is the same man as your saint, and that your priests respected our culture as he did, they would be welcomed here as brothers.
And the Eden we wanted to build would be everywhere. You speak sense, Princess. Does anyone wish to add anything?
I understand your doubts about the future that will inevitably be caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master. Yet he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Thélème today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Mateus.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.
Karans, do you need something?
I must leave you. See you later.